In this video, I intend to finish the frame painting on the Jeep and then get the rest of the brake lines installed and hopefully have the whole brake system working, which I know I'm going to have to rebuild the wheel cylinders. I just know I'm going to have to. So we'll get all that done and hopefully get this thing out in the field. Just to let you guys know that I can't always accomplish as much as I'd like to in 1 week's time, because I made my own deadline of every week I wanted to produce a new video with progress on the Jeep. Understand that I have a full-time job, so I work 5 days a week. I work some Saturdays as well. And also it's a little bit weather dependent. Even though I'm in my garage, I'll show you around a little bit, because I have the Jeep on the lift, but in order to fit all the cars in, I have to keep the vet under the Jeep, which means that I have to pull that outside to bring the lift down to work on the Jeep. So it can't be raining outside, because I'm not going to let this sit out in the rain or any kind of bad weather. And then if I'm making a lot of dust, then I've got to move the Impala out of here. So again, the weather's got to be good, and I have to have both of these sitting out in the outside. I mean, I have a little bit of workspace over there, and that's where I kept the Jeep before, and I have shoved the vet back into that space, but it's very, very tight. So I'm pretty much at trying to work between my job and with the weather in order to produce videos. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get all this done and hopefully get this thing out in the field next door. This is what I'm using for the frame. This is the primer. This is all Bill Hirsch products. This is the Miracle Paint. You can literally put this right over rust. Though it does recommend that you try to break up the loose stuff, so use a wire brush on it. Actually, you do want the surface to be just a little bit rough. Also, I get the silver. I like doing it that way because then when I put the black top coat on, it's a lot easier to see where I'm covering to make sure I don't miss anything. And again, for the top coat, I'm also using more Bill Hirsch product. This is a super black chassis. And let me turn this around so you can see what that looks like. It's not quite a gloss. I would say it's a little bit better than a semi-gloss, and I think it has a nice, clean factory look to it. So, all right, so time to get started. On the can, it says that you should pop a hole in the lid. Don't try to remove the lid, and then pour it out, and then just put duct tape over the holes. Also, make sure you're wearing rubber gloves. And put plastic down or cardboard or something, because it's going to drip. It's inevitable. So I'll come back and I'll touch areas up. Even though no one will see that up there, I still want to protect this frame. There's the primer coat. And again, you can see why I use silver, because then you can really find out if you miss any spots. It sticks out pretty easily. Now that rust encapsulator primer is completely dry, it's time to get the color on here. So just stirring it up and just start putting it on. Well, next day, looks like this paint is cured, so I'm pretty happy with it. Really like the finish that I get out of this semi-gloss chassis black. Does a nice job. Got all the inside done. I'm not sure how well you can see any of that, but pretty happy with it. So we're going to go on to the next step, which I'm going to finish installing the lines from the rear up to the master, and then I've got to remove all the old lines from the master to the forward here, strip all that out, then I'm going to clean this differential, and then I have to prime paint that, and then I can start installing the new lines. Now that the paint is dry, we can start some reassembly. Interesting. That sits up a lot higher than it should. Because there are clips that are supposed to hold that to this axle, and that is not going to work. These clips were on here before, these C clips, and that is not going to work. Okay, that's a little tight. I'm going to try and bend a little relief in this. Okay, it's not much. Let's see if that's enough to make this work better. And I still haven't gotten the correct 10mm wrench. Okay, apparently there's a trick to this. I think I have to start it in the upper hole before I can start it in the lower. Let's try that again. That seems to be the way. Interesting, that seems to be a little too long, so I think I've got to flip it around. One side might be a little longer than the other. Well, third time's a charm. Okay, it's one side in. So now I'm working putting these clips in that go on the front of the diff. And hold these lines down up here. Got the other side already on. I'm still not happy with the way this is, but I'm hoping after I get this down, I might be able to twist this down closer to the axle and get the proper clips on it. Also, they make these a little bit too long, so it hits the top of the cover. Of course, again, nothing's quite right with these reproduction parts. Now, with that in place, let's see if I can twist this line down. I'll loosen that just a little bit. I think I might be able to make this work. Okay. The best fitment, but I think it'll do. Okay. Okay, learn our lesson from the other side. The longer side goes on the bottom, but put the top in first.